Hello to my Aries and happy new moon in Gemini. Thank you for alerting me that your video kind of went silent at the last few minutes of your video, Aries. So this is a bonus video for you all. So thank you for alerting me. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. Happy new moon in Gemini. All right, Aries. So again, thank you for alerting me to your to that to your video going out. Whoops. So I've already prayed over your cards, already asked Most High God for complete and total clarity. So yeah, so let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. Okay, so today will be better than I expect. All right. Your past is calling. Don't answer. I am safe and protected. Every word I speak is with love, truth, and good intention. And all of the answers are inside of me. So quite a few cards came out in terms of setting intention. So there's quite a few. So today will be better than I expect. Your past is calling. Don't answer. That could be in however you receive callings. That could be from coming through the air. It can be like a download that you're receiving. You could have some kind of anxiety about something that's reminding you of something in the past. Maybe, and if remember, time is relative. So it could be like how you receive downloads. You can know when someone is anxious, someone you love is very anxious, and you could be picking up on their anxiety. Maybe that's how you receive a calling in your life. And so something could be confusing for you. Maybe years ago, that would have caused you to go into panic, but now it causes you to go into prayer. Okay. So maybe that's adding some clarity for somebody. I am safe and protected, right? Every word I speak is with love, truth, and good intention. And so all the answers I need are inside of me. So let me add some context to something. So remember, you all you all rule first house, right? So some people had some, and I'm talking to you wherever Aries is in your birth chart, not just if your sun or moon or rising or Venus is Aries, but whatever Aries is in your birth chart. So please pull your birth chart. I do have a link below. Pull your birth chart, so please pull it. Remember, the enemy is always trying to play tricks on everybody, right? So how you handle things 20 years ago, you may have panicked when you heard something. Like you may have heard something in your spirit, like, oh, I got a feeling that somebody I love is in danger. That could have caused you to panic, racing to the phone, tripping over the phone cord back in the day, almost busting your head on a wall, racing to the phone. Oh, call it. Is everything okay? I had a download. You may not have called it a download back then. You may have just said, I just had a feeling about something. That was your psychic gifts, right? Today, you may feel like, okay, I'm a little wiser in this year of 2025. In this year where you spiritually have grown, you may have said, let me pray about that. Let me go ahead and give it to source. I'm not so anxious. I don't just, automatically just impulsively act on something. Let me pray about it so that I'm not, giving somebody else a bunch of anxiety. Let me just pray about something, right? All the answers that you need are inside of you. All the answers that you need are inside of you. So that's what Source is trying to help somebody do, is that every word you speak is with love and good intention. So Source is that you know that you are safe and that you're protected, but your past is calling, don't answer. And that could be someone's past calling, but don't answer. That could be someone's past, but don't answer. In any way, shape, form, or fashion, if it's causing you to be impulsive, or if it's causing you to feel like you're in danger or vibrating in a low frequency where you're dealing with someone who's trying to bully you as a fire sign, someone who is trying to um, um, cause you some level of anxiety or get you angry or upset. Remember, we're in a new moon. New moon, new you. You should be getting your rest, okay? So this is a bonus video. Again, it's a general reading. Take only what resonates with you. If you're interested in a personal reading, my information is down below. Or if you feel like somebody lied, on you or to you or whatever the case may be, something could be coming back to your spirit where it could be getting you hot under the collar. Get your rest. Just get your rest. Because remember, Gemini, the moon is moving into Gemini. It could be when you watch this video, it could still be in Taurus, but moving into Gemini. So it really wants you to kind of in terms of your mental rebirth and curiosity, because new moon is about a new you, it's a rebirth, right? In terms of your mental clarity, the question, overarching question is, what new ideas or areas of learning should you explore now, right? And so Mercury is the messenger planet, but it's also the knowledge and learning planet. What did you learn about yourself when you were impulsive? Whether it was, when you made an impulsive decision, when you judged a book by its cover, when you just flew off the handle, went jumping in the car and racing off to, somebody's aid. Oh, I thought somebody needed me. Or you picked up the phone and made a phone call, or you did something impulsive only to find out somebody was safe, somebody was fine. When you could have just prayed about it. You hopped up out of the bed and, in the middle of the night because you had a dream about something and you frantically called somebody. I'm so nervous. And woke up a whole household filled with people. So it's saying 844, safe. There it is again, right there, safe again. I am safe and protected. Feel secure in the divine. Feel secure in the divine. So Source needs you to stay focused. Source needs you to stay focused, right? And start praying. Just pray. Source, thank you for covering however you pray, right? Source meaning Most High God. But your angels want you to feel secure and safe in their watchful presence. You've been given an abundance of blessings recently. See these blessings and count them. As you do, say a prayer to the angels for gifting them to you. No blessing is too small to count. Right. So again, Source needs you to stay focused because some secrets about some things have been uncovered. And Source wants you to for about two energies who felt like something was their way or the highway. And something could have been done to you behind your back. Some secret enemies could have been uncovered, right? Some lies could have been said to about you behind your back. And that was uncovered. So Source is really trying to get somebody to learn how to live a softer life, right? And when I say your past is calling and don't answer, Source is saying just trust Source. Just trust Source. Don't just go fly off the handle and just lose it. This is your time of rest. This week, this next 7 days, rest your brains. Gemini's energy is directed outward. So who you're talking to is Source. Not this person, this person, this person on the phone. Oh my God, I had a dream about this and I wonder what that. Go talk to Source, pray about it, and journal. Because the first quarter moon will be in Virgo. Virgo and Gemini. We're not talking about any Geminis or Virgos. Virgo is a receiving sign, right? So that's from that on that. When the moon moves into Virgo, you're going to really remove yourself from people who are fanning the flames. You're going to really remove yourself from everybody else's drama in that first quarter week, that first quarter moon week. And and I'll talk more about it then, and say, okay, I need to get some downloads because we're getting closer. By that time, we're getting closer and closer to the full moon. I need to get all the downloads I need. I don't need no distractions around me. My calendar is blocked off. That's what you need to be telling people. The angel of prophecy and wisdom will be talking to you. So ask Source for clarity. So if you're a reader, pull your cards. You are protected by angels. Trying to tell somebody you inspired some people to heal. That is going to be the power. Somebody's going to understand the power of prayer and meditation, not just prayer and picking up a phone and calling 20 people. Somebody never stopped loving you. So you have the gift of precognition. This is foreknowledge of some things. So you kind of know what's coming to some degree. You may not know exactly what it is, but you'll be leaving some energies behind. You may not know exactly. And that may be the part that's really causing some anxiety because somebody want to know step by step. I want to be familiar. I want to get ready. I just want to know exactly. So you got like calling around. And the danger in calling around to a lot of different people is that you're getting a lot of their energy in your spirit. And it could be a complete lie. And it's the devil. They're speaking from their flesh. They're speaking from what they're familiar about. And it can cause your fire to erupt and cause you to do something impulsive. So your mental health is just as important as your physical health. This is why I'm telling y'all, some of y'all are going to be stop doing that at the root chakra. You're going to start pulling something up at the root. You're going to be like, no, I need to live a softer life. Listen, I need to be by myself. Time to ground yourselves. Time to ground yourself. Somebody is not happy without you. And somebody could be, seriously, but you cannot return that call. Always bet on you. Always bet on you. Yeah, somebody is dealing with two energies that feel like something is their way or the highway, and it is one has succumbed to powerless and passive and powerless behavior. They're in a karmic cycle right now, and it's a lot of secrets that's being exposed. And so that's why source is saying get yourself grounded, because somebody has been moving around so much. It's like almost like somebody's eyes when we bugged out their head when they see what they see, because it's almost like you're chained. Somebody is chained to impulsively just kind of, I got to pick up the phone. I got to call 15 different people. And so I need you to sit down somewhere and learn how to be in receiving mode, because you're inspiring people to heal. So that's what Source is trying to tell somebody. Like, yeah, the people are trying to get to their future, their north node. People are trying to get to their star, their north node. And we're not talking about just in a physical sense, but some people are like, they don't believe things until they see it. Like they're trying to get to, so 11th house deals with like friendships, community, their goals, their hopes, their awareness, humanitarianism, technology, the future. And so Source is saying to you, you won't be returning some people's calls because two energies, like I said before, did something impulsively, right? And your mental health is just as important as your physical health. And it's hard for some people to really, really stay focused. It really is hard for some people to really, really stay focused. That's how much anxiety is in them. So much anxiety. Um, and it could have been because they've been lied to so many times. People have been trying to play them for so long. Who knows? But this is where, as a prayer warrior, Source is calling for you to just pray for real. Ask God for clarity. Ask God for clarity. You got to remember, Pluto is also retrograde. Pluto is a judgment card, learning how to rise above judgment, because somebody could have been totally misreading some energies. Like somebody could have been totally misreading, thinking that somebody was judging you, and somebody could have just really been dealing with some serious anxiety. Something could have been totally misread. But somebody's past is calling, and it could be the enemy that's calling you. Like Source is saying, let me see if this person is going to start relying on the creator, or if the enemy is, if Aries is going to operate in the flesh and automatically, go right straight into anger and frustration and not being able to calm down, or if Aries is going to start praising Source and start just thanking Source for, you know, the day, or start being grateful that you're safe and protected, that every word you speak is with love and good intention, and all the answers are inside of you, and that today will be better than you expect. Like you're expecting good things to happen. Like it's almost like, okay, I'm not expecting anything negative. Yeah, I'm expecting to see some people who have now structured an authority, like something you inspire somebody to heal, right? So when you talk about your eyes bugged out, it's gonna be like in a good way, like, oh my God, like, okay, somebody realize that, in order for them to even be in your presence, they have to straighten up and fly right. Like they're gonna have to get their act together to even be in your presence, because you've been hearing so much stuff about them. It's almost like, I can't even believe what I'm hearing. I can't believe what I'm hearing, right? So because people was showing you physical stuff. Why? Because the energies you have dark wolf energy. Somebody could have dark wolf energies around them. Dark wolf energies around you with money. Who've been setting people up. So, who cannot come out of sixth house. They cannot come out of sixth house. When I say dark wolf energy, like I said, can't come out of this rage, this competitive spirit. I got to show people dark side of themselves, because some people have been showing my dark side. So I got to show their dark side. I got to find some kind of way to air them out. We so much air. So I can sit up, look like I'm sitting on a high horse, or sitting up at a higher frequency than other people. I got to find Me and somebody got to find somebody to air these two energies out. So, but we need money to do it. We need physical resources to do it. Yeah. So source is saying to you, you're leaving some energies behind because of what they're doing, what they're into, the kind of stuff that they're into, right? They're into triangulation. You're seeing something from a higher frequency. Somebody is doing something to you and somebody that you love. This is what you have in common. This is what you have in common with somebody. Somebody's 12th house. As soon as somebody's career starts taking off, as soon as somebody's life goals start being met, as soon as they start achieving some things or having some kind of public image, as soon as they start operating in healthy masculine energy, meaning that they finally start speaking up for themselves, as soon as they start, their energy has got, outward. They start doing things. They're not just sitting back, taking too long. That's the power of being around a high vibrating Aries. It's like you all inspire people to take a leap of faith. Remember, you all rule first house. So your energy would inspire people, like we talk about during spring equinox, leaping forward, or like, leaping forward, right? When somebody's around a high vibrating Aries long enough, you have no choice to be in that independent mindset, and people like to partner with high vibrating Aries because it's infectious. Just to be around a high vibrating Aries makes people feel like, okay, they can do anything because they see you all like, doing this, going to school, taking care of the kids, holding down the household, uh, having a career on this. I mean, having a career, having a business on the side, like y'all doing multiple things. And I'm talking about high vibrating Aries, right? And so you finally were able to, somebody is seeing something repeat itself. This is what you're saying. That's what's saying your past is calling. So something about your past, you're seeing something repeat itself right in your face. As soon as people break out of their shell, their confidence level starts to, get to a point. It's almost like, let me see if I can get somebody. You start seeing the triangulation. It's like, let's say you and your spouse. Let's say you're the Aries. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, right? Let's say you've invested without even realizing. You inspired your fire, right? And I'm talking about high vibrating fire, Aries. Inspire somebody to speak up, to be more confident in the workplace and ask for a raise, or or to go for another opportunity or go back to school. Something you inspire somebody to do. As soon as they start being more confident, you start seeing family members have all this information trying to break people up, right? Trying to break you and your spouse up, or break you and a loved one up, or separate you from your kids, and bringing all this mess out, bringing out people's demons, just doing all this kind of stuff, being slick at the mouth, somebody is starting to see the same traits in a younger generation though, but you're starting to see the same. So somebody's now making some kind of connections, like, okay, they got that same energy that this older energy has. They're just a younger energy in they're a different skin. They're different energy. It's the same. It's the same. That's what you're making. You're making a common piece here. You're putting pieces together. Somebody's starting to say, okay, these two energies are just like, it's like a carbon copy of something. As soon as, but you got to understand, you being in your high vibrational Aries actually sparked a flame of independence where people are springing forward and being more confident with themselves. So if you saw it in you and your spouse, or you and your partner, or maybe you and a sibling or whatever, as soon as, you know, you inspire them, it's not them being jealous of you. It's other people coming in between to create creating some kind of a spark between you all. Oh, you're better than this person, or I heard this, or somebody creating some kind of competition between you and somebody. So somebody is now starting to put the connection together, like, okay, they got that same kind of spirit, like they're whoever. So somebody's making something, making something make sense at the root, and said, okay, I need to pull this up from the root. Now it's starting to make sense. So let's say, for instance, It's you and a spouse, but it's the other side of the family. And the other side of the family is almost still again at war. They doing it to your kids, and you're seeing a different generation, but you're seeing it with your kids and grandkids. And now you're seeing it's like this thing is generational. This is a karmic cycle. And now I'm seeing something I didn't want to see before. These energies feel like something is their way or the highway. And now somebody is, this yellow right here lets me know there's always been a competition. Somebody maybe just now, you may have been running around so fast you couldn't see it. It's like there's always been a competition, like there has to be one star in the family. Somebody is just now seeing it. When common, if you can see it out in the sky at night, you got multiple stars in the sky lighting up the sky. It's the same type of energy. There can only be one star in the family. So you're inspiring somebody to heal. So it's like you emotionally hit the jackpot because you're finally getting it. Like, okay, I need to slow down. This is where I'm gonna live a softer life. I'm so rich with all of this energy, with all of these gifts and talents. I can spot certain things. Like I can spot, you know, people's psychic gifts. Like I have all of these gifts and talents as a prayer warrior. I can pray for people who are praying on other people and help them to identify what's individual about them without them acting like they're competing against anybody. I can show them what shines about them individually, like all the stars in the sky. What sets them apart from every other sky and a star in the sky without them feel like they're competing again in a very positive, high vibrating way. That's what I have. So somebody, like I said before, you're starting to see this 8 right here is a karmic number, because when it comes to whoever you're dealing with, when it comes to anything about renewal or sexuality or death or transformation or shared finances, inheritance, loans, the occult, knowledge, which would be hidden knowledge, mystery, intimacy. For them, everything is a competition. It's their way or the highway. If it's not structured a particular type of a way, it's wrong as far as they're concerned. They can't see no other way. And it's like they got to extinguish somebody else's shine because they have to be the only star. And so something for you is just like, oh my God, you're seeing, I mean, like the shade, the snickering, the talking about people behind their backs, the just low vibrate. I mean, just cutthroat. Somebody is seeing something, and so somebody is like, nope. That's just how some people are wired. Now somebody has an innate spiritual understanding of what's behind it. Yeah, yeah, and it just makes people feel worthless, and mainly the kids. Makes the kids feel like they're left out of something. So somebody is going back to, I don't know if you're a parent or what, but somebody is now going back to remembering when their kids felt left out of something and made it feel worthless because somebody felt like something was their way or the highway. So something for somebody was just transactional. We'll let your kids in on something if it's going to benefit us. This is somebody's family. We're going to let your kids in if it's going to benefit us in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So this moon in Gemini is helping people to get the message, because Gemini is ruled by a messenger planet. That's the message that you're getting. Is like, if it's beneficial to the family, then we'll let them in. If it's going to get us some kind of shine, meaning if it's an only child and they got somebody to play with, okay, then we'll let them come over. If it's you got a service you can provide that's gonna be beneficial, then hey, yeah, you can be invited to such and such. But if it's nothing that we can use, somehow your name is left off the list. Again, very transactional. So source is saying to you, somebody is about the past is calling, but you're done with the confusion. You're done with the confusion. You have there's nothing else to say. Yep, nothing else to say, because that seed is planted real deep. 7 of Pentacles. That seed is planted so deep in the soil. It's not even funny. Here we have the Judgment card, and you're rising above the Judgment because it's an obsession. Somebody literally has an obsession with money. If it's not about, like I said, to a point where they judge people, something is not done a certain way, then guess what? Judging people literally to death. Humiliation to death, literally humiliation ceremony, and they won't stop as if people have not been going through a humiliation ceremony their entire lives. That's the entire human race. It's not enough humiliation for them. The source is saying to you, you don't want to be a part of a humiliation ceremony. You know what it feels like. As far as you're concerned, you're taking a leap of faith away from those types of energies. That's why your wishes are being fulfilled. You don't want to have nothing to do with it. You're pulling something that you ain't even falling for the bait, getting as far away from it as possible. And somebody gonna say you turn your back on them, but it's like, nope, you're sailing away from something. You don't want to have anything to do with it. Every human being on this planet has been a part of a humiliation ceremony. Whether it's your skin color, your race, your culture, your sexuality, flexuality. I gotta be careful with the words because they'll erase certain commercials. Everybody has gone through some kind of divorce, surgery, something. But some people love to humiliate people because they don't want to deal with their own whatever. They don't want to deal with their own whatever. They want to see people just in anguish. They want to see them and their kids in just anguish, and then turn around and act like they have nothing to do with something. So it's saying to you, you don't listen. You're closing out a cycle, and they do it usually during a Saturn return. So some kind of major something going on in people's lives, almost like they have to compete. They even have to compete with a person's any kind of a grand opening or some kind of release of something, anything that's going to show some kind of competition. Just something is wrong. Something is very, very wrong. So somebody who knows their worth and know their value. So it's just saying you have so much physical knowledge and worth and wealth as far as something is concerned. So it's just saying to you, that's why you're so close to opening your vault door. That's why you're seeing your money grow, because you know your worth and your value. And so for the people who have been humiliated enough, for you, you're closing out the cycle. Even if that was you, you don't even want to be a part of something. You're moving on. So you're not saying something, you're just moving on. Here we have, these energies like to blindside people. They like to double back, try to use people's words against them. And like I said, and blindside people. So somebody definitely wants to blindside somebody. Something has come through the air. Somebody told somebody something about you and somebody. And so somebody is you and somebody are trying to move on. You and somebody are trying to move on, but somebody is still gossiping, right? Somebody is still gossiping, saying, oh, basically, oh, they don't think I would do it. All I have to do is do one thing. And it is something because right now we're talking about 11th house, right? 11th house is about technology. So now we have access to technology, the web, putting something on the World Wide Web, right? And my wish will be fulfilled real quick, right? And root chakra deals with the physical access of something. I have something in the physical, right? I have something in the physical. But somebody is still dealing with a very, very two very immature spirits. One has succumbed to passive and powerless behavior. The other one is egotistical, materialistic, and forceful. So source is saying to you, if you're still connected to these energies, what you may not see as an emperor, this number 8 right here is a karmic number, right? Energies are pulling you into their karma. They're pulling you into their karma. That's why you start out with this right here. The past is calling, don't answer. Whoever you are, I don't know who you are. And learn how to rise above the judgment, like past judgment of maybe operating in the flesh and not being under someone else's judgment, because energies feel like it's their duty and responsibility. You don't know why somebody is stuck on something. Like somebody don't know why somebody is stuck on something. You have no idea. Creating something, you have no idea. So they're sitting around a group of people, like some people are sitting around a group of people just creating something. They're literally sitting around a group of people just creating something. Yeah, all for a new lease on life. When they could be using their time wisely to create something that's going to really help people. They're actually using something to benefit off of someone's. They're creating something in the dark, something dark, and that's why the Judgment card comes out, because the Judgment card is really about people going through a metamorphosis. You're trying to go through some kind of a metamorphosis, very powerful transformation. And somebody is literally sitting around creating something to pull you back down to the flesh, like basically to operate in the flesh, for you to be impulsive, to respond to something, to say something, right? And so Source is saying to you, you're learning how to rise above the judgment, especially when you're dealing with bullying energies, because that's what somebody's dealing with. You're dealing with bullying energies who like to do stuff behind people's backs. So somebody's dealing with two vain, vengeful spirits that you have in common, who have already done something, like they've gone to court, they've done some things behind somebody's back, two people's backs already at court. And these are energies that you have in common with energies. And the energies are trying to pull you into their karmic cycle. They're trying, this is why we have the 3 and 5 of, they're trying to bait you into their karmic cycle. And so you turning your back, and this is the lie that they tell people, is like, oh, since they turned their back, they used to talk to us, but now they turning their back. That's a lie. That is a lie. That's a lie. They used to talk to us, but now they turned their back, and we got some stuff on them too. But if they've done something behind some people's backs, they got something on you to do something behind your back as well. So Source is just trying to wake somebody up, like almost like zzz, like wake up, wake up. Because this page energy is a youthful spirit. That could be somebody's child, whether, it doesn't matter, whoever it is, it could be somebody's child who just wanted a whole new lease on life and got connected with some energies who, like I said, two energies who succumb to passive and powerless behavior, who's egotistical, materialistic, and forceful. And it really doesn't matter how much money you have, really, because people think money is going to buy you everything, right? Right? It may buy you a whole lot. But, like being able to go to court, do some stuff, pull some strings, you may know some people, some connections, or whatever the case may be. But being pulled into a karmic cycle, we are not Source. We're not the creator. It's not whether somebody believes in the creator or not, but it's energy that you put out that's coming back to you, right? It's like somebody is playing God to you and somebody else. That's really what this is. Somebody's playing God to you and somebody else. So that's why Sources say you need to stay focused. You really need to stay focused. So somebody thinks that you and somebody else, like this little princess energy, right? Or prince energy, who just likes to just, and maybe you were raised with maybe you were raised by somebody who treated you very, very well. Maybe you and somebody were raised by somebody who you and somebody held in high regard. And see, water speaks to music, it speaks to creativity, it speaks to the arts. And so maybe you and somebody were really, really nurtured at a very early age by someone who basically instilled in you and somebody else. Maybe they just nurtured everybody around them. Maybe it's genderless. It's genderless here. All of this is genderless. Maybe you and somebody was just structured that way, that y'all are the first ones to do a lot of things in your family. So whether you're the first person to have kids in your family, so maybe your family really spoiled you and your kids. If you were the first one to have kids, maybe if you were the first one to buy a house, maybe your family kind of sort of took you under your spouse or your partner under your wing and showed y'all how to do a home buying process, no matter what your age is. But it's like people constantly want to put you and somebody in some kind of humiliation ceremony when you've been humiliated enough. And that's what somebody is finally saying. It's like, okay, enough is enough. And so you can feel secure in the divine. So here's the 7 of Pentacles. So yeah, the seed was planted so deep for you early on, that you deserve the best. And so you and somebody deserve the best. So somebody knows their worth and their value. But when you're dealing with energies who don't know their worth and their value, that's where you are learning what the difference between being around a high vibrating Aries and a low vibrating Aries is. A low vibrating Aries loves to make people feel worthless. They like this competition. They like this making somebody feel worthless. I'm better than, I got more degrees, I look better than, constantly competing and all this other mess. When a high vibrating Aries is not like that at all. It is literally the polar opposite of that. It is the polar opposite of that. Yeah. So somebody, if you know that you're a high vibrating Aries, you can easily spot a easily spot you know, a someone with low vibrating Aries tendency. Their sun sign, whether their sun or moon sign is Aries, you can spot it. You can spot it because something about their energy is unpredictable, it's stubborn, it's very destructive, and it's immature. And you know, if you're, you know, whether their sun or moon is that, and you know that's not you, when you're around a low vibrating Aries, that's exactly what you get. So write that down. They're unpredictable, they're stubborn, they're destructive, and they're immature. It doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman. That is a dark side of a low vibrating Aries. Yeah. So you cannot say all Aries are the same because a high vibrating Aries is the opposite of that. It's the opposite of that. Very much so the opposite of that. And so I speak very highly of Aries on my channel, and so I very seldom talk about what a low vibrating Aries looks like. But those are some of the character traits or characteristics of a yeah, high vibrating Aries are courageous leaders. They lead from the front, not from the ego, but from purpose and vision. They inspire others through action, not just words. They're bold, yet mindful. They take risks with discernment and trust divine timing. They channel passion into creativity, entrepreneurship, or advocacy. They're self driven, not selfish. They honor their independence without abandoning connection or empathy. They support others in finding their own fire instead of dominating. They're quick to forgive, slow to rage, master their temper, and transform anger into fuel for justice, motivation, or healing. That's just to name a few, right? But when you're in the presence of a low vibrating Aries who cannot control, you know, that impulsive behavior, and all they want to be able to say is, I got this degree, I got this, and I got all these people that can back me up and say they got all these people who are just like them with a God complex who can back them up, and to add insult to injury, who have money with the same kind of ego that can back them up. So it's like you need to run for the hills. You're not dealing with a high vibrating Aries at all. So when the past is calling you, don't answer, because somebody who is a Taurus, a Capricorn, or Virgo has been made to feel worthless. And here in the higher frequency, there's a Capricorn involved in something that people are trying to bring judgment down on the Capricorn. Um, Something about a Saturn return, possibly in Aquarius, because Aquarius and Capricorn share Saturn, the World card. So something was done by two people behind somebody's back. Capricorn rules 10th house, Aquarius rules 11th house, to basically ruin their future. Basically ruin their future. And so Source is saying to you, the past is calling, but at this point, somebody already knows the family or the group. Physically, you've been around this, whoever this family is. You've talked to these energies who created something, and something feels very familiar to you. Somebody has talked about airplanes or flying somewhere. I mean, all of this, because that's what the Eight of Wands is about. Eight of Wands is like not just quick progression of things. It's about flying. It's about pilots. It's about airplanes. It's about all of that. And so like I said, somebody is just dealing with some energies who feel like something is their way of the highway. So Source said to you, your past is calling. Don't answer. Something is on repeat. Something is literally generational. That's what this is. That's why it's not so immediately clear to somebody, because Pluto is the outermost generational planet. Somebody is literally trying to annihilate some people, take them up out of here, like in them. And I'm talking about in a physical sense. I'm not talking about in a spiritual. I'm talking about in them. Because what's hidden in the Judgment card is an obsession with death. Somebody's basically saying they want somebody's words to be used against them. Somebody's heart feels like their heart was broken in some way, shape, form, or fashion. They want somebody blindsided. This is what these right here. They want somebody blind with blind. See, they don't want somebody to see somebody coming. See somebody blindfolds on. They don't want somebody to see somebody coming who is trying to transition and move on. And that's what it's like. This is what you have in common with somebody. It's like when you have been trying to move on and transition for something, it's heartbreaking when you've been around people for so long who keep coming to you, telling you stuff about loved ones. Like, oh, now that they're growing their money, they keeping you out of stuff. They not telling you this and they not telling you that. Is coexist. Just stirring the pot, telling a whole bunch of mess. That is why Source needs you to start talking to people and not to talking to people that people are talking about. That's what Source is trying to get you to do. Start talking to people that people are telling you about. Not just sitting there listening. Talk to people that people are talking to you about. And get away from familiar spirits. I don't know who I'm talking to here, but God is like, get away from familiar spirits because they don't have a clue as to what's going on. They sitting around, got people posted outside of people's door, paid next door neighbors to have a camera pointed at people so they can collect. Well, we got physical proof. We see what time they wake up, what time they leave the house, where they going. We got all this information. We got this. We know the person who owns the building. We got the people who they live in a condo or they live in this neighborhood. The next door neighbors. We see what kind of car pull out the garage. I mean, you spend all this money. What? Yeah, they so resourceful, but so are you. So are you. You're very resourceful yourself. So now you're putting it. You're saying, okay, I'm putting the flame out. I'm no longer inspired. No longer inspired. What the heck is going on? Somebody is no longer inspired. Some don't even make any sense. You're just no longer even inspired. It don't make no sense because there's zero compassion. Zero. And that's not even how somebody was raised. So that's what I'm seeing here in your cards. I'm telling you, as prayer warriors, you and somebody were raised by somebody who has a wealth of compassion, who keeps people enlightened. They have a wealth of compassion, and they were a loner. Whoever this energy is, whoever raised you and somebody, they could have raised a whole family of people, but in particular, it's like you and somebody are loners, and you're very, very compassionate energies, very compassionate energies, and people want to just humiliate. It's like you're seeing something generationally. The people want to humiliate loners. They assume, okay, they're by themselves. Somebody could be traveling. You could be a person who travels. It's like people see you traveling. If you travel by yourself, you could have people. I mean, I don't know. If this person could have like a group of people, they could be just a picture of a person by themselves. But if you're a person who likes to like spend some time, maybe I don't know what people's moon sign is, but maybe a person who likes to travel with a group of people, but kind of go off by yourself and just relax and sit down somewhere. And people just see you, somebody sees you and just feels like they want to just pick you apart. Oh, he or she, they nice looking, but I'm smarter than they are. I look better. I have a higher paying job. You didn't do a thing to them. Like, what in the world? Where'd all of that come from? Just making up stuff. They quickly to go to whomever has an issue with you, quickly to jump on that side. So here we have 900 effects. What you give, you get. All you have sent out into the world has been collected and multiplied and is ready to be sent back to you. So take a moment now and reflect what realizations you have had in recent interactions with people and places. Journal about lessons you've learned and how you plan to use it to grow. So all the good you've given. I feel like somebody has. You've invested a lot of time and money. I feel like somebody, if you could add up all the money that you've given people, and not this, you weren't even counting it for real. You weren't even counting the money that you gave people, Aries. I don't even know who I'm talking to here, because this is how your money is getting ready to start growing. This is how close somebody is to their vault door. And this is why Source doesn't need you to get confused right now. You're inspiring people to heal, because this kind of behavior is just, it's uncalled for. It's uncalled for. These energies have a feeling about something. They have a feeling about something, and they're competing with something they don't know. They're competing with a feeling. They're competing with a feeling. And they have a lot of feelings in their sacral chakra, a lot of mixed feelings about a lot of things. Sacral chakra, deals with emotions. It deals with flexuality. And obviously I use those two letters, FL, instead of, because I don't want it to, trigger, certain commercials, but it deals with it deals with intimacy and emotion. So there's a lot of emotions down in that second chakra that somebody is dealing with. They're dealing with a range of emotions in terms of, because they're in a relationship with someone who is their way or the highway. They're dealing with somebody who is so stubborn, it don't make any sense. They're dealing with somebody who does not want to do the work. That's what they're dealing with. So whoever this energy is, they're dealing with someone who is shy, lazy, irrational, and materialistic. And it's literally, when we're talking about sacral chakra energy, all you need is a little bit of whoever they're dealing with contamination to contaminate them. It's literally like getting a fresh, clear, clean glass of water and putting a drop of food dye in it. You see it just change. That's being around. It's like when they, you can see how they change when they're around different groups of people. But when they're around a particular energy, they are a totally different person. So that's what Source is trying to tell you. They just go with whatever this energy tells them to do, whoever this energy is, and that's why you're not returning the call. 3, 2, 1, you're setting boundaries. So it's okay to set limits. You need to set a boundary. There are those who take too much, and your angels are reminding you that you don't need to let them. It's important to say no to what harms you. Think of a boundary you can set today and then put it in place. You have the support of your angels. Yeah. Everything that you need is inside of you. Somebody has a feeling that your money is about to start growing, that you're about to feel like you had this whole new lease on life, that you're about to start traveling, that you're going to have all of these resources available to you. But what they've done is so cutthroat. Source is saying, this time you're not going to say anything. These energies feel like they got to catch you and blindside you. So you thinking, okay, I'm at an impasse. What do I do? You're not in an impasse. Somebody's thinking, your word's going to be used against you. Somebody's, heartbroken and all this. Oh, I didn't help them when they really, really needed help. Source is saying, hey, listen, just move on. Move on in love. Move on in love. You got a lot of energies. What people don't understand is that somebody had neighbors positioned around you, listening to everything. This is what these. I keep trying to tell. Listen. If you live in an apartment building, some of these energies are paying people to literally be your neighbors, to listening on your phone conversation and taking this information back to people. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, how in the world do something? That's what familiar spirits do. They sit there and listen, record, watch, and talk, and get on the phone and talk to people. They were talking about this, they were talking about that, they were talking about this and that, because they don't want to do the spiritual work. So be grateful. Be grateful. Fill me with gratitude for all you give. May I be a vehicle for you wherever I go. It literally is like back in the day, having those neighbors. Every time you leave a house, somehow their blinds are flipping up and down. They know every gossip, everything that's going on in the neighborhood. But let something happen, like to your property, or something happens to something that where you need help for something, anything, any kind of help for anything. They didn't see anything. They didn't see one thing. Oh no, I didn't. I don't get involved and stuff like that. But it's like the comedic. It's literally like I mean, if you had to put a comedic spin on it, like the comedic character on In Living Color, Bonita Betrayal. It for real. It's like that energy right there. They don't know nothing. No, I don't know nothing about such and such, but we'll sit around like this. If it's going to cause them to feel like they hit the jackpot financially, they'll create it. So it's just a transaction. And so what you have hit the jackpot with, and this is the difference. This is the line of demarcation between you and somebody. What you have hit the jackpot with, And this is where the enlightenment comes in for somebody who is high vibrational. I'm not talking about low vibrational Aries. I'm talking about high vibrational Aries. This is what you have hit the jackpot with. That you were raised by somebody who is so their compassion is deep as the ocean. That's how deep their compassion is. They don't leave anybody out. The whole idea of them making somebody feel worthless, that's just not who they are. That's not who they are. That's where the line is drawn. And so if you got neighbors who are like, if you got people who, from organizations that are listening in and watching it, they jump in front of it to make themselves like, oh, we would never do that. We would never. Source already exposed something. That's why you got to go to source and pray. Because there's a big difference between somebody genuinely saying who all is going to be over there because they are enforcing boundaries and saying, maybe we can do something alone, but I don't want to be over there because certain people are going to be over there because genuinely I don't want to be around certain people. That's people's right. That's what I'm looking at here in your card. I already got something else to do. They ain't trying to be phony, no nothing. They don't want to be around certain people. That's their right. Acceptance. So radical acceptance in the now opens the flow. Yeah. People don't have to be around people. But somebody is seeing something generationally. It's like something has just been passed down like a gene. Like it just like, I'm for real. It's been passed down. So some people you'll start to see, like I said, source has removed like something you'll start to see, okay. Yeah, some people are not just doing anything for money. Some people just look at something and they just go, oh, they'll, even if something pops up and they'll notice it, they'll remove it. They'll say, oh, shoot, let me remove this. Or they'll, maybe have a thought about it, say, okay, they don't want it to affect anybody. So they'll remove something, just remove it, right? Where it's not circulated or duplicated. But somebody will find something, they feel like they hit the jackpot and create something and duplicate something. Oh, guess what I found? And they'll do something. So Source is just trying to help somebody to just like learn how to, when people are intentionally trying to make people feel worthless, when people are intentionally, it's like people are got to stay in front of familiar spirits. You got to stay in front of familiar people. Like people got to make an announcement. If you see something, then this wasn't supposed to go. Somebody broke into an email address. Like that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to help somebody see something. So Source is trying to help you to, all the answers that you need are inside of you. But y'all got to start paying attention to your neighbors. You got cameras and stuff pointing at your house. I mean, it's kind of in depth in your reading here, but that's the whole point of the moon in Gemini is learn the lesson. That's the whole point of the moon in Gemini. Learn the lesson is that these energies will pay to have people sitting, literally your next door neighbors, to record, listen, and be like jumping out of a treasure chest. But this is modern day technology. Modern day technology. It's very, very different than the Polaroid camera. We talk about cameras that's connected to accounts, that's going back to a central location where people are, sitting in a call center watching, you paying for a subscription every single month, all of that. So sources say, pay attention to all of this, right? Pay attention to all of this, right? So that you don't feel like you blindsided all the time, like somebody's words being used against them. You don't always feel like you blindsided. So yeah, that's what I'm saying here. Like somebody feels like, these energies, some people are using their money for evil. They're using their money for evil, spending more time splicing stuff up, creating lies versus helping and enlightening people. So source is saying you be one that's going to enlighten somebody in a positive way. So again, today is going to be better than you expect. Source is saying to you, Mike's dealing with two vain, vengeful, and green with envy spirits who, like I said, do stuff during Saturn return because people are usually they're distracted. They're distracted, relocating, moving, doing stuff, planting seeds to grow, doing stuff, busy, having a new lease on life, traveling, vacationing. And that's when these energies hit, that's when they hit blindside. When there's a death in the family, anything, switching churches, locate anything that is a major switch in people's life. When these energies, the source is saying somebody better wake up, better wake up. So that's what I'm saying for you. So your somebody's gonna start paying better attention to who's around you, like for real. That's what I'm saying here in your cards. And again, my apologies if that sound went out at the last 10 minutes. Hopefully you caught all of this video here. So start paying attention. Start paying. If you're gonna pay something, pay attention, because I do see your money growing. I do feel like you're gonna have a whole new lease on life, traveling, having a lot of resources to a lot of things. But source is saying, when you're going through major life changes, you had to like start paying attention to the energies around you, like next door neighbors, the who's connected to whom, who's doing stuff to other people, taking people to court behind their backs, posing as other people, copycat spirits that you're in the same circle with. If they doing it to other people, they will do it to you. So source is saying, pay attention. Okay, that's what I'm seeing here in your cards. So you're, as you're closing out cycles. There's more than one star in the sky, and sources inside of everybody, on everything in this planet, and that's what source wants you to do. And so you've poured a lot out. Like somebody in somebody's family is so wealthy in compassion. Is really really not funny, and that's what's been poured out. But as I'm reading your cards, I feel like some energies have already done something illegal. Looking at your cards here, they've already done something illegal. Um, and so for them, they've already copied something. They've already created something for them to live a great life. And so source is saying to you, but there's been action already taken to stop it. So yeah. Now I'm just looking at your cards here. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And surrender. Sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hardest, to stop trying to control the whole universe. I mean, just craziness. Pure craziness. So whoever this was in your life who was just, like I said, wealthy with compassion, was a loner. So I don't know if you're a person who, like I said before, but this pick making people feel worthless and humiliating people. Nope, not cool. Not cool. That's what I have for you. Bye.